Media today is a new medium in architecture that, if used properly, gives you the opportunity to integrate content related to the experience that you're creating. And that you cannot do with other mediums. And if you actually fit it really well into the pieces of architecture, they become alive.
My name is Mike Rubin. I'm the president of MRA International, and we focus on the creation of unique destination places around the world, from sports destinations to casino destinations and resorts and urban destinations and public places. So in the spring of 2009, the executives of LAX invited me to a meeting to create a new business platform that would enhance their advertising and to create a wholly new media environment in the airport that would engage the passenger. This was a building that was already under construction, so we had to do a lot of catching up. No airport in the United States had introduced a sponsorship program. This was going to be the first of its kind. So 3 sources of revenue, and each of these connected to the media environment in different ways. Sponsorship with a large feature media, advertising with intermediate media in the concourses and the ticketing area, and digital apps to mediate the environment. So when we thought about the romance of travel, we thought about 4 themes. That travel has to do with the destination, the journey to that destination, the stories that come out of travel, and then the way time changes when one travels. And time changes in fundamental ways. Time slows down. We become aware of another time in another place, and our normal routines are suspended, opening us up to new experiences. The other challenge was to create integrated media, which had also never really been done before. And fortunately, I had worked on 3 previous projects with Marcella Sardi of Sardi Design, where we had started to create just this kind of media integration.
Sardi Design is a consulting design business, from interiors to product to immersive environments. We had the opportunity to assemble a fantastic team that consisted of a really great integrator, which is Electrosonics, and then 2 creative companies, Moment Factory based in Montreal and Digital Kitchen based in Los Angeles, and Smart Monkeys, which created the intelligence of the system and brains of the system.
As we looked at the opportunities, there were really 3 spaces in the building. The first was a transitional space where, interestingly, it was the space that departing passengers had just cleared TSA security, and arriving passengers had just cleared passport control. One passed over a bridge and the other came down an escalator. A perfect opportunity to use these media features to express something that could be celebrated. And those moments were classic. The bon voyage for the departing passenger and the welcome for the arriving passenger. To create those 2 moments in one space, we saw as a unique opportunity for the passenger and for the future sponsor.
The biggest challenge in the South Light Well was the integration of these 2 really large features into a very tight and reflective space. The challenge with the Bon Voyage was to be able to integrate the feature into an existing glass curtain. The design intent of the welcome wall was to greet international passengers that are coming from the CBP area. And the challenge with the welcome wall was they had to separate the upper and lower screens into 2, but they needed to look as one piece as you descend from the escalators.
So the Great Hall became the place that could contain 3 distinct media: the storyboard, the time tower, and the destination board, all tied into different aspects of the passenger experience.
The first feature that we identified was the elevator tower, which became the time tower. It was an elevator tower made out of glass, and then we extended from 48 feet to about 72 feet. The time tower was designed in relation to the historical clock towers that are associated with the classic railroads and terminals. It's a physical challenge and a digital challenge. We need to be able to express the revelation or the appearance of time in a different way. The base was intended to be interactive. We put glass in front of the LEDs and recessed the LEDs about 5 inches for the sensors to be inserted. As well, it protected the LEDs. The next challenge was to be able to create a seamless 4-corner tower. To my knowledge, this is the first 4-sided LED tower. The digital design was based on the 24 time zones. The 24 time zones have arms, and those arms are alive and in sequence with the clocks around the world. And that is what creates the architecture and a time identity of this time tower. It became the master of ceremonies. It became the most important feature that actually rules the content between the destination board and the storyboard. How do we do a feature that is big enough, but it doesn't look like a billboard? So that was the birth of the storyboard, which is designed in reference to the creative storyboarding associated with LA filmmakers, animators, comic book, and graphic artists. It's also serving as an icon, LA as a capital of the creative industry. The storyboard itself is over 120 feet long. We went through many different options. It is seen from different vantage points, so you actually see the feature and appreciate the content in different ways. The biggest challenge was to be able to attach it to a structure that was already under construction and to make it curve and it attach into 2 points. We brought in our team Peter McCleary and Mohammad Al-Khaider, and they were critical to the structural engineering of this piece and to be able to integrate it seamlessly into the architecture. So the destination board is designed to extend the functionality of a standard airport departure board from an information display to a medium that celebrates the travel experience and the destination cities that are accessed from LAX. Like the iconic departure board that was created by Sardi for the JFK's Tawa Flight Center in 1962, the jumbo boxes that were in place when we came in were at the top of a clerestory, 50 foot tall, that actually faces east. So there's a lot of sun that comes through those clerestories. We ended up joining the information display, creating a longer display that was surrounded by a crest that acted as a brace of solid that had embedded LEDs within the design. It's curved in 2 directions, and you use the sides to actually tie in the weather and information from other cities into the place you're going to.
As they're about to embark, they go through a transitional space from the Great Hall to the concourses. And what was born out of that were the portals that created a 130-foot transition for the passenger as they went on this final step in their journey.
Interactivity is always based on sensors. The challenge there was, where do you put the scanners? How do you integrate all that in a seamless way? They were designed with 6 LCDs, one on top of each other. They're completely interactive. The base was made of stainless steel, and we inserted speakers and we inserted scanners. Also, they're fit interactive, which means depending where the location of the people are going to different gates, the content development system picks up a city that people are going to. So every 4 minutes you change a city. So you have a time to absorb and interact with them. Content is part of our lives. It's like we are half digital and half physical, and how you incorporate the digital into the physical is what we're doing.
What we got through this project were remarkable, unpredictable contributions from artists, directors, producers on the content side, systems designers who came up with solutions recognizing what that vision was. That's what made it all work. Content that was created that went beyond our initial sense of what was possible, technologies that pushed the envelope, that created effects that, again, took an idea and brought it to the next step. So the vision drove that, but it was the internalization of the vision that really undergirded this sense of a team. We were a team.